Okay, in this lesson, we're going to learn about interior and exterior angles of a triangle. And so in your notebook, I would like you to title your notes so that we know exactly what it is we're talking about on this page. And then you have this nice, cool foldable that I've made for you where we're going to put some definitions. And so on this foldable, we're going to write some definitions. And then when we get done with that, we're going to look at this sheet right here. Okay? So hopefully, when we talk about interior angles of a triangle, hopefully that's something that's familiar to you. I mean, we're talking about interior angles. And so we're talking about all the angles inside of a triangle. Let me zoom in so you can see that very clearly. And this is probably something that you learned back in elementary school. So hopefully we know that the sum of the interior angles, the sum of the interior angles of a triangle is equal to 180 degrees. That's something you should have learned before. All the angles added together add up to 180 degrees. So we're going to look at one like that in just a second. Very simple. Now, the next one might be a little bit trickier. We're going to talk about the exterior angles of a triangle. So I'm going to draw you a picture. And I would encourage you to draw this picture as well. And I'm going to go ahead and label our triangle ABC so that we can see that. I'm going to put a point here and label it D. Okay? So when I talk about exterior angles of a triangle, I'm talking about the angles that might be formed on the outside. So see this angle right here? Angle B, B, C, D is an exterior angle. It's outside the triangle. Okay? And so what we need to know for right now is we need to know this. I'm going to write the definition and then I'll come back to this picture to show you the example. That the measure of an exterior angle, the measure of an exterior angle is equal to, so it's equal to the sum of the two remote interior angles. Now, I know that sounds really complicated, so write it down, pause the video for just a second, write it down, and then we're going to look back at the picture. The measure of an exterior angle is equal to the sum of the two remote interior angles. Okay, so first of all, I want to point out to you that right here, these are supplementary angles. So if I knew what this angle was, then I could just subtract it from 180 and measure the angle BCD. But we may not know that. But if I know angle BAC or angle A, and I know angle B, then I can conclude what angle BCD is. So basically in our picture, because that didn't sound really helpful either, angle A and angle B are the remote angles. Remote meaning further away. They're the furthest away from it. They're the remote angles to angle BCD. So these two angles are the furthest away from angle BCD. So if I add them together, they will be equal to whatever this is. Okay? Now let's look at it with some actual numbers and problems. So you'll need to glue this in, so you don't want to lose this, so make sure you glue this in. And then I want you to look at our picture. Okay, so we have this worksheet. So we have two different types of problems. We're going to look at example 1 and example 2 together. And so you'll notice right here in example 1, we simply have a triangle. What type of angles are these? These are interior angles. Well, we just talked about that the interior angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So remember, I've been stressing to you, if you know they equal 180, we need to immediately put down an equal sign and put equals 180. And now all I have to do is take all the measurements and add them together. So I would say x plus 20 plus 40 plus x, and I could do this in any order. So if I said a different angle first, that would be okay. And so now over here, I'm going to rewrite our equation so that I have some room to solve it. Okay, and so now we need to go through our solving process. This has like terms, so x plus x is 2x. I've got 20 plus 40, which is 60. Okay, so now we're down to just a basic two-step equation. So now we say minus 60. 2x equals 120, and divide by 2. And so we get x equals 60. And so now what is the measurement of our angles? So we already know that angle KIJ, I just want you to see how I'm naming that, because you will see it like that. The vertex is always the middle letter. KIJ, we already know, is 40 degrees. KJI is just x, so that means it would be 60 degrees. And then JKI or IKJ is x plus 20, so we do 60 plus 20, which is almost at 180, which is 80 degrees. Okay, so that's an example of interior angles of a triangle. So that was the first definition we talked about. So now let's look at the second one. Okay, so example 2. So notice in this picture we have 2 interior angles and 1 exterior angle. So that's why I wrote down that it's an exterior-interior angle relationship. And so this is an example where we talked about that the 2 remote angles, these would be remote from our exterior, are equal to the exterior. So we're going to add these 2 up, 3x minus 15 plus 2x plus 10. So the 2 remote, the sum of the 2 remote is equal to the exterior, 4x plus 20. So that's what our equation would look like. Okay, so again, I'm going to rewrite my equation over here so I have some room to show my work. Sorry, I'm making you do double the work. I like that it has our don't call me after midnight to remind you what to do. So on the left side here, I've got a lot of like terms. I have 3x plus 2x, which is 5x. I have negative 15 and positive 10, so I should get negative 5. Okay, so my next thing I need to do is move my variables to the same side. I would probably subtract 4x. Make sure you put it under the x. So I would have 1x minus 5 equals 20. Add 5 to both sides, and I get x equals 25. Okay, so now let's look at our angles. The measure of angle A, or BAC, I'm just going to put angle A, is 3x minus 15. So we have to say 3 times 25 minus 15. So that would be 75 minus 15 is 60, hopefully, right? Did I do that right? The measure of ABC, measure of angle ABC, or just angle B, is 2x plus 10. So I say 2 times 25 plus 10. So that would be 50 plus 10, which is 60. And then our exterior angle, let's see, ACX, you can see that X right there, is 4x plus 20. So 4 times 25 plus 20, that's 100, plus 20 is 120. So let's double check ourselves. Did we do it right? Do these two angles added together equal 120? Yes, they do. Okay, so there's 2 examples of each type to help you work through the rest of the problem.